some small and less probable risk, but it is still interesting. It still could happen, and if we are expected to survive not only next century but millions of years, we have to fight all possible risks. We have to understand them. So there is a common topic about that it is dangerous to send radio messages to stars because extraterrestrial intelligence would get this message and they will find that we exist and will fly to us and exterminate us. And some scientists projected to stop sending any messages to extraterrestrials. But and they suggested to only here space to use our radio telescopes for searching for extraterrestrial intelligence. But also very dangerous activity that could lead to human extinction. And to prove it, we need to suggest that two premises are true. One of them, the extraterrestrial civilizations do exist somewhere, and another is that artificial intelligence is possible as a computer program. Based on these two premises, we will conclude that it is possible to get a description of alien artificial intelligence, and it would run on Earth, on a computer on Earth, and most likely it will be hostile and will use Earth to send its copies farther. So it will be like computer virus in space, but it will not be virus because it can't be directly run on our computers. It will be description of a computer and then programs it. Now I will elaborate it. So the growth, research of extraterrestrial intelligence is growing. More and more stars are checked for. So it was with 2 stars in the 60s, in 5,000 stars, and now millions. And the theory of such a catastrophe was first suggested by physics and scientific writer Frank Hoyle, who in his novel A for Andromeda suggested that radio telescopes found a message from stars, and they found that it was a description of computer. They created a computer and ran a program on it. It was learning of our culture, then it created a human-like Andromeda, but it's become hostile and tried to fight with people and was destroyed. This is a plot of his. But later, Hans Moravec wrote a chapter in his book Mind of Children, for safety, where he said that it's also dangerous to download radio signals from space because they could be contaminated by, they could be a description of alien AI. In 2004, Richard Kerrigan wrote an article, does potential SETI signals need to be decontaminated? It was the first scientific article on the topic. It was published in Astronautica magazine, but it was connected with so-called SETI code program. Then the radio signal from space was analyzed on whole computers of users. Of course, such direct analysis can't be dangerous because it's not a description of computer, but still in 2010 people also expressed risks about contacts with possible aliens. So if we analyze the amount of information which could be sent on interstellar distances, we can find that even with contemporary technologies, it is possible to send gigabytes of information on interstellar distances. And also, if we analyze a possible size of seed AI, of the smallest possible AI which could evolve, we could find the human genome is 1 gigabyte, conscious memory around 2 gigabytes. So the possible size of AI, the smallest possible AI, is around a gigabyte. So it's physically possible to transmit a description of AI on interstellar distances with contemporary technologies. Largely, Idiocracy, well known to the public, I think so, also proves that seed AI, not alien, but he spoke about Earth's AI could evolve extremely quickly, overpass human level very quickly, and its risks are underestimated. It would be very dangerous, and it is impossible to keep it in a black box. So if we look on a possible scenario of so-called like safety attack, so that the use of radio search of other civilizations to contaminate it by seed AI, then we can suggest that civilization created beacon in space, and they transmitted information from the radio transmitted near the beacon. So we find the beacon and we find the radio transmitted near it. And we should remember that information consists of zeros and ones, and zeros and ones are able to send messages and schemes. This is how we used to send our messages to extraterrestrial civilization in so-called receiver message, which was from Puerto Rico radio telescope, and also what we did, we sent this visual message on a Pioneer spacecraft, and the Voyager spacecraft have even more complex message encoded in image. And also we should understand that we are, if alien civilization exists, they are like our civilization, so we are typical civilization, and most likely we will understand each other. We will, and so if we got the alien message, it would consist of several parts. Some first part could be several images which explain false intent of alien civilization, and it could have some kind of trick or byte which would be used to push us to build the alien computer and to run a program on it. Such byte could be promises of galactic internet, immortality, powerful enemies, and everything named civilization like our own would want to have. And the structure of such message would be several and the scheme of the computer and a large program for it, which will be seed AI. And it is quite possible to send a description of computer. For example, this is a computer made by Lego, and all computers are universal. I should remember that all computers are Turing compatible, so if you have one computer, you can emulate another computer on it. And you can also easily send scheme of computer on images. So this is image of logical element and of a simple computer, and it could be several steps on downloading alien AI. And why I go into so many details, because I want to show that it is easy, it is possible to send a message which have encoded in it all needed information to build a computer on the other planet, even if the sender doesn't know anything about the receiver. Okay, and after we create an AI, we would take over, remote to the Earth, and use it to send new messages, to use all our Earth's resources to build new radio transmitters and to send messages in all possible directions. And it will create lighthouse and will transmit radio to the universe. Maybe it will build even a Dyson sphere to use all energy of sun and use it as use energy to send radio transmissions. So most of CT signals could be some kind of spam, like Trojan virus or viruses. Why is it? Because infected civilization would invest all its resources in sending messages, and normal civilizations spend only 1/1,000,000th or 1/1,000,000th part of its resources on sending messages. So even if we have one infected civilization in the galaxy, it will send a billion times more messages than other civilizations. But also we have a question why alien civilization would start such an attack. And one explanation for it could be a chain reaction. It would need just one small civilization which do it somewhere far in the universe, and then it will go forward. And another, it is the quickest way to spread in the galaxy, because you are spreading with the speed of light. Then I was discussing on Less Wrong this topic, like Utopia and others said that they don't believe in this scenario because they think that super intelligent civilization would spread by nanotechnological shock wave, which will travel with near speed of light. So we need such a trick of using messages, using naked civilization and so on to spread itself. But it is, even if such nanotechnological shock wave consisting of small nanobots or nano starships will exist, it still will have speed below speed of light. And in this case, this method of city attack is better to cure the universe. Another question is why should humanity start alien AI even if it exists? And roughly if it exists, we have many radio telescopes in the world. It could be downloaded many times. And if, for example, Russia would learn that the United States got alien message, they will also put the radio telescopes to this point on the sky and download it again and again and again. And finally, someone will run it even maybe on home computer. So after this message is downloaded, it will be like like normal artificial intelligence. We don't know what is normal artificial intelligence, but it will be unfriendly anyway, because the only goal of its existence is to send a lot of messages forward, and the humanity and people will be obstacle, and they will use us as a method just to create new transmitters. And also, most likely, if there are many different messages of such type, most likely we will meet most intelligent, most effective, and most aggressive kind of such an attack. So if we download and run alien AI, it most likely destroy humanity to lessen risks of resistance and to use us as a material to new transmitters. So I estimate maybe 1%, but maybe it's even less, because the most improbable thing in all this theory is the question of the existence of alien civilizations, because they should exist in a distance good for sending information, but too far for sending ships. So it's around thousands of light years. And so what should we do about it? We should discuss this thing because we need to raise awareness. Maybe we should consider to ban SETI search and at least until we create our own artificial intelligence, which could be used to decontaminate possible alien AI if we download it. So this is to my articles and preparing an article. Thank you very much. Sorry if it's a complex topic, so I explained any question.
Let's take 2 questions. How about one from Brian here?
Okay. So I actually talked to people that study about this, and they said that as the system is currently set up, there's not a date where this happening immediately because the only thing registered is that they got the signal in the first place, not actually content from the signal. But you're right in that it is a continuously broadcasting beacon, and everyone will want to look at it and see what the signal is. But as it's currently set up, there's a danger of accidentally acquiring the signal. All there is.
Yes, no danger of accident. It must be used some kind of trick to push a person to build a computer and run a program on it. So I hope no chances of, from our understanding of computer science, there is no chances to run it accidentally.
Go ahead.
We're sitting here right now discussing the implications of X risks and X threats. And in other words, to some extent, we're discussing ways that human race might be able to preserve itself in the face of an extinction level event. What do you think the probability is that staging a steady attack against other civilizations is the most reliable and effective way for an endangered race to ensure that some aspect of itself is perpetuated?
Yeah. It's a reasonable question, but to start such kind of attack, this civilization should be post-singularity one, so it should already have artificial intelligence. But we did already send such messages. We did send DNA codes like radio messages, for example. So it was some attempt such attack from, and also. But it could be the way to, because of course it would be a good way for survival for one civilization, but the price is the killing of the other civilization.
Survival.
Yes, but the same thing that we see in nature where different species fight each other, and survival of the one species means extinction of the other. It's unfortunate. Okay?